All right, welcome back. Today, we're going to demystify a piece of software that's basically the central nervous system for sales at some of the biggest companies you can think of.
Yep, we're talking about SAP Sales and Distribution, or as you'll hear it called, SAP SD. You know, if you've ever just stopped and wondered, how on earth does a massive global company keep its sales from just falling into total chaos? Well, this is the engine that makes it all happen.
And really, that's the core question we're tackling today, right? How do you manage 1 million, maybe more, sales orders at the same time without everything just grinding to a halt?
Exactly. I mean, just think about the sheer complexity. You've got different products, you're selling in different countries with different currencies, you've got online sales, you've got in-store sales. I mean, how do you make sure the right thing gets to the right person at the right time? And maybe most importantly, that you actually get paid for it. It sounds impossible.
Okay, so let's dive into that first section, the challenge of sales.
Right. And, while that challenge sounds completely overwhelming, the answer, not surprisingly, is a system that was built from the ground up to handle exactly this kind of mind-boggling scale.
And yeah, that system is SAP Sales and Distribution, or SD. It's one of the key modules inside SAP's main ERP system, and its whole job is to manage the entire sales cycle. We're talking shipping, billing, selling, transportation, the whole shebang.
It's a great way to think about it. It's kind of like the digital backbone for the entire sales process. From the moment a customer even thinks about buying something, all the way to that final delivery and invoice, SD is the thing in the background managing every single step.
So that's the 30,000-foot view. Now let's zoom in. Section 2. Let's get inside the SD engine.
I love that analogy. Yeah, let's pop the hood and really see what makes this thing tick.
And when you actually look under that hood, you see wow, it's so much more than just a system for taking orders. I mean, you've got master data for customers and vendors, sales support functions, shipping, transportation, and it goes even deeper. It handles stuff like credit management, to check if a customer can actually pay, and even deals with complex foreign trade rules for when you're selling internationally. It is designed to cover every conceivable angle.
Okay, but here's the thing. Before a company can use any of those cool components, they have to do something really fundamental first. And that brings us to our next section, building a sales blueprint. That's exactly what it is. You literally have to build a digital map, a blueprint of your real-world company right inside the software. They call it the organizational structure. And if you don't get that right, SAP has absolutely no idea how your business is supposed to function. And right at the very top of that blueprint, you have what's called the sales organization. Think of this as the main legal entity that's responsible for selling stuff. It's the part of the company that negotiates prices and terms with customers.
Right, and the word legal there is key. This is the part of the company that is, legally on the hook. If a sale goes south, this is the entity that's ultimately responsible.
And this leads to a really interesting piece of advice that comes straight from SAP itself. They strongly recommend keeping the number of these sales organizations to an absolute minimum. Which is kind of weird when you first hear it, right? You'd think some giant global corporation would have, dozens of them. But SAP's reasoning is actually pretty simple. It's all about reporting. The fewer you have, the cleaner and easier it is to pull a report that tells you how your entire business is doing.
Okay, so these different elements, they combine to create something called a sales area. And this is absolutely non-negotiable. To process even one order, the system needs to know 3 things. First up, who is selling?
That's your sales organization.
Next, how are they selling? Is it retail, wholesale, online? That's your distribution channel.
And last but not least, what are they selling? Is it electronics? Is it clothing? That's your division. You need all 3 of those pieces just to open the door.
All right, so we've got our blueprint. But now we get to what is, for my money, the most powerful part of this whole system. Section 4 is all about connecting the company.
Oh, for sure. This is where the magic happens, because SAP SD does not work in a silo. Its real superpower is how it's completely wired into every other part of the business. I'm talking warehouse, finance, production, you name it.
Yeah, and this is a perfect illustration of that. The literal second a sales order gets created in SD, the system just explodes with activity and starts having conversations with all these other parts of the company.
It really does. It immediately pings the materials management module, MM, and asks, hey, do we actually have this thing in stock? Then it shoots a message over to financial accounting, FI, and says, can this person actually pay for this? Is their credit good? It might even tap production planning on the shoulder and say, we're going to need you to make more of these soon. And all of this happens automatically, in the blink of an eye.
And all of that chatter, all that automated communication, it creates something called the document flow, which brings us to our next section, the seamless sales journey.
Yeah, the document flow is such a cool concept. The best way to think about it is like a perfect digital breadcrumb trail. Every single action is connected to the last one, creating this unbreakable, auditable history for every single sale, from the very beginning to the very end.
Okay, so let's follow the breadcrumbs on one single sale. It all kicks off when a sales order gets created in the SD module. That's the first domino.
And instantly, that first domino knocks over the next one. It triggers the materials management module to issue the goods from the warehouse. And the moment that happens, boom, the inventory count in the system drops automatically.
And then that action, the goods physically leaving the building, that's the trigger for the finance module to update the company's books, the general ledger. It is a perfect, unstoppable chain reaction.
And what you get at the end of that chain reaction is, honestly, the holy grail for a business. A single, seamless process that runs all the way from order to cash. That really is the magic of it, isn't it? No more manual handoffs, no more emails and spreadsheets flying between departments, no more dropped balls. It's just one clean, continuous flow of information that everyone in the company can see and trust. And that really just shines a massive spotlight on both the power and, honestly, the peril of a system that's this tightly integrated. Every single piece has to rely on every other piece working perfectly.
Which leaves us with a pretty important question to chew on, doesn't it? What happens when just one link in that incredibly complex digital chain breaks? It just goes to show you how vital, and maybe how fragile, these systems really are for the entire global economy.